Okay, so we have the bike outside warming up, and we're going to start measuring some exhaust temperatures and see if we can change this lean condition. I'm just kind of curious, a little science experiment. The header pipe runs on this side. You can see the header pipe is running like somewhere around 50 degrees through the plastics. The exhaust itself is running about 22 to 25. This chunk of exposed pipe is running incredibly hot. I think it's reading like 250. That is really, really hot. And this app is saying about 80 to 85 decibels. So 80 to 85 decibels and 50 to 250 degree temperature on the bike is significant. So we'll see if we can change that. Okay, so I took off the plastics I was talking about, and it exposes the stock heat shield. So that's all wide open now. And I also took off the Yoshi, which came off really easy actually. I'm really happy about that. So as you can see, these pipes, when they're super hot, which I found out are 300 degrees Celsius, when they get water and mud on them, they just cake. Now, on our new pipes, the same effect will still happen. The added bonus is RJWC uses a high quality stainless. That'll help, but it won't be perfect. There's no way to get around it really. We can buy some time with this wrap, as long as you use the provided high temp silicone coating. This provides a barrier between the rot, essentially, because that can happen and eventually will. I mean, it's the nature of running mud. So I think this is going to be a gigantic upgrade. Next we'll be trying to get this heat shield off, and I'm pretty sure I watched a video of Rob Farrow kind of digging into this, and it's quite the annoying process. So we'll see how that goes. And then while we're in there, we'll check some stuff out. But I'm still gonna have to remove some stuff. Probably the inner plastic here on the front right fender well, just so that I can get at the other header on this side of the engine. I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go at it yet. I gotta do some poking around, but this side is quite accessible here. So it'll be nice to get in there and get that off. I'm sure there's going to be some colorful vocabulary used, but we'll get her done, and we'll see what else we have to remove to get at it. But pretty pumped to get this on there, and while I'm in there, I'll check out what we're gonna do about the fuel tuner and get it in there also. So good start anyway. And I realized how dirty the bike really is on the inside, so I'll probably end up giving that a bit of a scrub too. So I've got some of the covers off. Two pieces are off. One little one that just slides out the back over here. It isn't a big deal. And then there's a longer piece that covers this whole section. Now, they're all 10 mils, super easy to get. They just lock into these tabs here, and the threads are on the other side. It's just a sheet of tin. The only one that was hard to find and get at was up here. The top of the actual tin has another 10 mil that's hidden way up here, and the only way I could get at it was with a ratcheting wrench, a 10 mil ratcheting wrench. You can get your hands in there and get it off. It'll be a little tricky to put it back on, but I'm sure you could tear a lot of this other stuff out here and do it that way, but it can be done otherwise. And now I'm starting to see the head bolts, so that's good. And I should be able to do everything from this side as far as getting at the head bolts, but I'll have to do a little bit of extra work, just reaching in there and stuff like that. Some of this tin, I don't know if it's gonna fit anymore, so I might end up doing some cutting and adjusting, but I want to try and keep the original tin over top. I know my pipes are wrapped now, but any extra layer against the heat that you can do, the better. I don't know how many times I've seen pictures online of people's plastic up here all melted out and things like that. We shouldn't have too much of an issue now that we're fixing the lean condition, but so far so good. So I'm probably going to tackle the head studs over here on the first piston, get those off, pull those springs off, and this pipe here should come off, and then it's just a matter of getting the front pipe. So I'll get at that and we'll carry on. Okay, so after some arguing, we've got the first Y pipe off, and you can see the studs there. And those are 13 mil bolts. You're gonna have to be real careful as you're taking them off, especially if your exhaust has been on for a while, that the studs might back out also. It's not a big deal. You can take the studs out on the bench and pull the nut off of the stud and then put the studs back in. Or do what I did, and I lubed it up. I cranked them down and then I loosened them quickly with a bit of a jerk. Make sure the threads are clean and they'll come off. Then we just cleaned everything up. So we got the Y pipe out of here. It's a tight fit, but it does come out. And then the next part will be the front pipe. And I'm probably going to reach that from one of the wheel wells in the front. And once that's off, basically go backwards with your new pipes. And I can tell they're significantly different in diameter. So we'll move on with that, see how that goes. And we'll be done with that. Okay guys, so we got the front pipe off and the front one on loose. What we think might have to happen is that both pipes kind of get lined up together at the same time as far as that piston and the other, just because of the way they fit together and have to go down the tunnel. The bright side is the pipe is quite short from the aftermarket because it wasn't designed for the Max, so that's why we have the extension piece, so it'll go in a little easier than it came out. The tricky part is these headers are significantly larger, and we're going to be playing with some of the stock tunnel here for keeping the heat away, especially from the plastic head cap. So we're going to try and make some adjustments to this and fit it in so that at least the heat's away from the engine. I know the wrap is going to help significantly, but it just so happens that where you have to put a band clamp, I couldn't put the wrap over, so that's going to be a hot spot right there. So we're going to try and make this tin work and line up these two pipes, and we'll let you know how that goes when it comes around. But I figure that they have to go in together basically at the same time so you can line them up. Or not, maybe not. You might be able to put it down the tunnel and then fit them in together at the same time, but it's going to be a tight fit. But when it's done, it'll be worth it. So we got into it and the pipes run. I had to chop this shield here a little bit and it's all clamped up. As you can see, it's all the way through. Pipes are mounted. Looks super sharp. We gave it a test run to see if there was any exhaust leaks. As far as we can tell, there isn't. But now that I've run it a little bit, I had to run it a little while, the exhaust wrap is kind of burning off. That's totally normal. But now that I've rattled it all up, I'm going to go back and try to tighten everything down when it's cooled off. Letting it cool off is going to take a while, so I might call it a day. For you guys, it won't matter. It'll be the next cutscene or something. But so far so good, and then we'll get into fuel tuner and all sorts of other stuff. Try to put some of the heat shields back on. More the merrier. I did have a quick look at it with the heat gun and it did look like it was down 50 degrees, but we'll know more when we actually get to it. But like I said, we're going to adjust it, mess around with some bolts, tighten them down, make sure everything's good, no leaks, and that should be it for that, and I'll do a sound comparison after that. there she is, folks. It looks like a difference of about 100 degrees, which is significant. 100 degrees is the difference of the heat on those pipes. Running temp to running temp at idle. So she's running much nicer now. That's a mind-blowing difference of temperature. So she's purring like a kitten now. The decibel rating is about the same as the Yoshimura, but the heat difference, I cannot get over that. 100 degrees. But there she is, the RJWC Mud Edition Duals. I hope you can even hear me, but what an amazing upgrade. Totally worth the effort. Thanks for watching, guys.